everybody, it's Omar. It is February 15th, 5:51 p.m. and I want to make a video building my watch list for tomorrow. I'm gonna make this quick, so I'm not gonna have a lot of time to review like today's plays and stuff, but go back, look at the charts if you watch the video, and go see like how things were bouncing off support and resistance. Pretty good. This is the watch list that I have for tomorrow. First up is VII. VII is up after hours. It hit a high 64 cents. You know, it doesn't have a lot of volume. Only traded, it didn't even trade 1 million shares today. I don't know, it's probably up on some news. But you know, just because it's up after hours, maybe tomorrow it'll, you know, have some volume. We'll see what happens. I'm only really looking at one key level. I needed to break 64 and hold to go long, or if it gets to 64, I'll short it. Now, obviously, VII is a sub-dollar stock. So usually, like, you need like interactive brokers or Centerpoint to find shares. They're harder to find shares and on other platforms. All right, you're definitely not gonna find it with Thinkorswim. All right, so that's really the, and then you know, it has a support level here, 51 cents. So potentially 51 could be a potential area to buy a dip. We'll see how things play out tomorrow pre-market. Next up, MBRX. MBRX had this move today. This stock was $1.60 yesterday, got up to a high of 334. It's bullshit stock, you know. But you know, I have these key support levels and resistance levels for tomorrow. If maybe there's an opportunity to make a play, so you know, start from the top. If it breaks 334 and holds 334 as support, I would take it long. Otherwise, if it gets to that area or close to it, I'll short it. $3. If it can get above $3 and hold, I would take it long. Really, if it holds $3, you got to be careful because there's some resistance here at 308. But if it can get past really 308, I think you're good to that 330 mark again. But otherwise, if it gets above $3 and it can't hold it, I would short it. Next level, next key support level I'm looking at is 272. If it gets above 272 and holds 272 as support, I might take it long. Otherwise, I'd short it. And last but not least, 250. If it can't hold 250, I think this thing is going to tank and get back down to that 180 level. That's the key level right there. If it holds 250, you can take it for go long. Otherwise, if it breaks below 250, I think it's lights out for the stock tomorrow. But you know, you got to be able to find the shares to short. And I heard this was really hard to find. Like nobody could find shares to short of this. Nobody could find shares to short of this stock. We'll see. All right. Next up, KODK, Kodak. Kodak is up after hours, or it's, I mean, it closed at a high of 725. I would say look for continuation tomorrow, because you know, last time it did this, it had a little run to like 10 bucks. And you know, again, you should always, I didn't look at it on the two previous stocks, but you know, you look at the yearly to get a sense of you know, the daily chart just to see, get a sense. It's had 4 green days. I mean, right here is the 200 simple moving average is 727, so that's a key resistance level. If it could break 727, it has this gap to fill above. You can see this potentially going back testing $9. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. 727 is definitely an area you want to definitely watch for. So we'll see. If it gets above 725 and holds, I take it long. Otherwise, I look at 685. If we can get 680, well, if it gets, I'm sorry, you know, if it can't hold 725, you take a short. If it gets to 685 and holds as support, I'd take it long. Otherwise, I short off that 685 level. Next level below 660. If it can hold 660, I might dip by it. Otherwise, if it can't hold it, I short it. And the last key level, 635. If it can hold 635, I take it long. Otherwise, I take it short. All right, so that's Kodak. Next up, FTR. FTR, it's up 8% today. I've shorted this 1,000,000 times. This stock usually gets to around like $10, and then it usually gives it all back if I remember correctly. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, it's been last time it had a run, it got up to about, I remember shorting this. It got up to about 1062. That's the last time it had a run, and then it just collapsed, and it's been hovering down the $6 level. Well, it's starting to run again. So if it can get back, if it can break 903 and hold, so if it breaks above 903 and holds 903 as support, I take it long. If it rejects 903, I'd short it. The next key level that, there is support over here at like 891, and some support here 886. So this, but to me the key level I would look at this at is that this 874 level. So if it gets back down to 874 and holds, I would dip buy it. If not, I would short it. And then if it can't hold 860, so if it gets to 860 and holds 860, I dip buy it. But if it can't hold 860, lights out. This thing will get back down to about 820. You can get a good 40-50 cents shorting this stock, I think, if it can't hold 860. So that's a great key level. Next up, SRNE. SRNE is up 9% today, hit a high of 955. If it breaks above 955 and can hold it, I take it long. Remember, when I say breakout, you never buy the breakout. You want to see the stock break out, pull back, form either a high or low, or hold that 955 level, and then you take it long. Okay. But if it can't hold 955, it gets around this area and it can't hold it, I take it short. If it gets to 921 and holds, I take it long, looking at 955 potentially to exit if it can't hold it. Or if it gets back to 921, can't hold it, I short it. Next key level is 890. If it gets to 890 and holds, I dip buy it. Otherwise, I short it. Really, I would probably be more comfortable shorting here at the 880 because it's like a next key level. So really, if it gets to 880 and it holds, I dip buy it. Otherwise, I would short at 880. And the next key level here is 860. If it can't hold 860, if it holds 860, I dip buy it. Otherwise, I would short here at 860. Okay, so we'll see what happens with SRNE. Gogo's the next stock. It's up 7%. The high today was 1006. If it can break 1006 and hold, I'd go long. It had 2 big green days. It has a gap to fill below, so maybe it gives it back tomorrow. The last time it had, it had a big green day, it had a couple of red days, big green day, next day was a red day. Let's see. It's had a couple of green days before, a few days in a row. But usually when it has a big green day, it has a red day the next day. So if we look at today's chart, it did have a big green day here and it had another big green day here. My expectation is people are going to take profit tomorrow. But we shall see, because nobody knows what the stock is going to do. If it can break 1006 and hold, I take it long, right? If it gets back up to 10, if it can't hold it, then I short it. But I really would not look to short it unless it breaks 10. So really, if it can't hold $10, I take a short risk in 10. Really 10.06. If it holds 10, then I go long. But I really wouldn't go long until it really broke 10.06 and held 10.06. That would mean to be the key area. 992 would be a potential area to go long if it held. But if it doesn't hold 992, take it short. Now the key level is 971. That's the one you want to have your alert set. That's what you really waiting for, because when it breaks 971, this shit is gonna tank, and I think it gets back all the way to $9. So we'll be looking for a key short at $9, and I think it's easy to borrow. Oh no, it's hard to borrow with Thinkorswim, but Thinkorswim sucks. So for short term, I'm pretty sure E-Trade got it. It's easy to borrow. We'll see. Okay, next up, AMAG. AMAG is up 29%, so big day here. It was trading at somewhere in the $13 range. It's at the $18 range now. Nice. I like charts like this because they're very clear support and resistance levels. So if it gets to 1860, hold and go, I'm taking it long. If it gets to that area and can't hold it, I'm shorting it. If it gets to 17, if it dips down to 1745 and holds, I'll take it long. If it can't hold 1745, I'll short it. If it gets to 1690, there's a potential dip by 1690 if it holds. Otherwise, I would short off 1690, and the next key level here is 1579. If it can't hold 1579, that is the disaster zone, and that would be a phenomenal short where you probably get like 2-3 points. So that is where you want to have your alert and be prepared for that big, that collapse. Hopefully that would be nice if that happened tomorrow, but we don't know. Now, if we look at the yearly, just to see, does this stock, its stock has been up in the high $25 range. It had this crazy gap, You know, it has to gap to fill below. I don't know if it's gonna happen tomorrow, but I would hope it will. I'm trying to see if it had a previous gap to fill. I don't see anything here, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. Next up, UAA. UAA was my stock. I actually got out of UAA today. But man, I wish I would have held, because I'd be up monster big, but that's okay. So currently up to it. Look at that, just broke right now. Just broke. It hit a high of 1850. So it's still trading after hours. You know, because it's up on earnings. So now I gotta replace this and put an alert at 1850. So whatever the final number is after hours today, that's where I'm gonna mark my high day. So buy breakout if holds 1850, or short breakdown. All right, so that'll be a key level, 1850. You know, and then we have some other areas of support and resistance here. So let me zoom out a little bit. So, you know, if it breaks down, if it pulls back to 1826 and it could hold 1826, I buy the dip. Otherwise, I short, risking 1826. The next key area would be 1799. There's some support here, 1807. But to me, the key area I'll be looking at 1799. If it can hold 1799, I buy the dip. Otherwise, I short it. And then, to me, the key area to really take a short, if it breaks below 1784. If it breaks below 1784, you know, you got a nice little wash, I think, to like the 1735 level. If it holds 7, and then this was these were the levels that I had from yesterday, because I've just been on my watch list for 2 days. So really, 1784 is what you should be looking at. These are all other dip areas that I had on my watch list. I'm just gonna leave them there, but really after 1784, if it can't hold 1784. If it holds 1784, you dip buy it. But if it can't, then you short it, and you're gonna get a nice little wash. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Next up, these are a little bit higher price. UFSD had this crazy move today. You know, from 29 to 32. It's up at 32.98. If it holds 32.98, I take it long. If it can't hold this, I short it. The next key level is 32.46 for a potential dip buy. If not, I short it. The next key level below that is $32. If it can hold $32, I'd buy the dip. Otherwise, I short it. The next key level here is 31.50. If it can hold 31.50, I dip buy it. Otherwise, I short it. And then the next key level here is 30.80. Now, if it can't hold 30.80, then you're gonna get this beautiful wash all the way to about close to $30. Okay, so that would be, you know, the safest play. All right, so all I'm doing is you know, marking out my key support and resistance levels for potential trades. That's all I do, guys. It's very simple. Next up is SQ. So SQ hit a high of 45.04 today. You know, it's been on a run. If it breaks above 45.04 and it can hold it, I take it long. But if it can't get up there, I short it. Now, right now it's at 44.20. You know, it may not get back up here, but you know, you got to mark them out anyway, just in case. The next key level here is 44.85. If it can get above 44.85 and hold, I take it long. Otherwise, if it gets to this area, can't hold it, I short it. Next level below is 44.63. If it can hold 44.63, you know, can take it long. Otherwise, you short it. And the next key level here is 44.35. If it can't hold 44.35, if it can hold it, you take it long. Otherwise, you short it. Now, if you want to be real safe, then to me, the real levels that you probably want to take the trade is if it breaks above 45.04, or if if it doesn't hold it, you short it, or the 44.35 level. If it can't hold 44.35, you take it short. If it holds it, you dip buy it. And then the next key level I would look at the stock is that 42.68. If it can hold 42.68, I'd buy the dip. Otherwise, I take a short. So these are the key levels I'm looking at. And finally, SEDG, which is up, hit a high 46.05. If it can hold 46.05, I take it long. If not, I short it. The next key level here is 43.95. If it can hold 43.95, I dip buy it. Otherwise, I take it short. And the next key level here is 43.30. So if it can't hold 43.30, man, this thing, because it has a gap to fill below, I think. Yeah, look at this. I mean, not to say that it's gonna get down all the way back down to this 36 level, but man, if it can't hold 43.30, you may get a monster wash on this. All right, so these are the stocks that I have on watch tomorrow. I know some of these are higher price guys, but you know, you gotta play what the market gives you. At least for me, my strategy, you know, there's lower price stocks, but they're just way too choppy. So with that said, I like this too choppy. That's why I'm not looking at it. But with that said, have a great evening. Like, subscribe, and share.